Hi, friends. This is your pal, Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about American politics, and we're going to talk about the government shutdown. What? Wait, Scott, didn't you tell us not to talk about the government shutdown because it's not a big deal? It is a thing that does not matter in any way, and that all these organizations that are saying it doesn't matter are wasting people's time. Yes, I did say that. So why are we talking about it again? Let's dig into this. All right, so I'm just like you. I get channels served up to me by YouTube that I have not searched for, and they're just like it gets into my recommendations. So there's this woman by the name of Heather Cox Richardson, and she has 500,000 subscribers, over 500,000 subscribers. Never heard of her before, right? So she gets in and she's like, "Here, government shutdown." That's the title of the video, but the thumbnail is why it's a BFD, right? Big effing deal, right? And this is really interesting, and I want to dig into this. So, we are in a lot of trouble as a society and in America, a lot of trouble. You know, we are divided over virtually every single issue. And one of the biggest things I think where we've really landed is we're in a post-fact era. Right? Wait, Scott, there are facts. Yes, there are facts. There is objective truth. What's changed is you are a fool if you present facts to someone and expect them to accept them or believe them based on your sources. And this is the point. There are no more legitimate sources. None, right? Everyone is picking their own sources. And this is pretty legit, right? You know, like if you go, you're like, well, there are good sound, well, one of the biggest things is the government, right? Like the government used to be considered objective, to be in the, that it was in the business of helping the American people. People don't believe that anymore, right? So almost every single government institution is not trusted. The reports they generate are not trusted, and often, right? I couldn't believe this. Like the military is untouchable, right? As far as respect and honoring them. I went to a science fiction convention about a year and a half, between a year and a half to 2 years ago, and they were laughing. There were panelists who were laughing at the Space Force, at like saying, "This U.S. military organization is a laughable joke." What? Yeah, like we're in an upside down world. And so one of the reasons, so I think Heather Cox Richardson is very, very wrong, and I think it is worse than useless to say what she's saying. We do get to do commentary, all right? I understand that, right? But here's the problem, okay? One of the biggest issues that we can see this most clearly with is climate change, right? Somebody I love calls it climate chaos, right? Like we're in climate chaos. But there was a debate on whether climate change was real or not. That debate really is now completely irrelevant because absolutely nobody cares. And one of the reasons why is the number one thing you could do to prevent climate change, you could recycle. And now we know, they reported in the New York Times that like for 2 years, maybe more, maybe as much as 5 years in some places, it's all going in the same hole. And so you have people going through the motions of, putting all this in the recycling, blah, 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 when the same junk landfill, because the organizations and institutions that used to buy this, that material, it's done, right? It's cooked, right? And so, that is, that's extremely real, right? Like that is extremely real, right? And this is where we've landed, in this place where people, and so that's the problem. Is we told people for decades, you need to care about climate change. Do we? Right? Like nobody did. We didn't do like they told us. You need to do this, or the Earth's going to melt. And people were like, we're not going to do any of that, right? And they didn't, right? Like, people just did not do what we were told would end the earth, but the earth didn't end, right? And this is the point, right? Like, this government shutdown is the most ignorable thing possible. And people are stressed. They are fraught, right, with things to care about. And so Heather Cox Richardson is saying, you need to care about this. And she knows they don't care. She knows they don't care. And it's not just her. It's every major mainstream site, right? Like, I listen to Slate Political Gabfest. They're the ones I trust. I really like their coverage. And they every single organization that prefaces this government shutdown thing starts their coverage with, we know you do not care about this, but this is why you need to care about this. And people are just like, I'm past it. I don't care, right? And what I worry about is that, you know, Heather Cox Richardson is coming along and saying, you really need to care about this. This is a BFD, right? Not just you need to care about it. Like, this is a big effing deal. Is it? We've seen this come to nothing 10 times before. I wish I could buy a Vegas line, right? Get a Vegas line for, okay, I put 100 down and I get 200 back or 100 back, that, you know, that the government didn't shut down, right? Because this is not going to amount to anything. And so telling people to care about something that absolutely is going to come to the same ridiculous, useless end that it did before, with political maneuvering and then one side or the other caving and getting minor concessions, and it was never real. There is no threat of a government shutdown. And continuing to tell people that there is a threat of a government shutdown every time we have this political maneuvering that is centered around the government shutdown is incredibly destructive. People are fraught. They care about actual crises. So to bring forward these manufactured crises and pretend that good people need to care about this is not useful at all. At all. Every single word you just heard from my mouth in this video is my humble opinion. Nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.